Hello and welcome, Cary community. Travis here with Engineers Daily Cary, doing a follow-up video to the first video I posted on the Civivi Elementum in brass. You wouldn't tell by looking at the stock version that that's what lies underneath, but I did follow through with what I had chatted on in the previous video and went ahead and sanded off the forced patina that was put on these and polished it out, and was very happy with the results here. You can see how mirrored finished I was able to get on the polished brass handles. I was going to talk you guys through the process I took if others are looking to duplicate the results here and take advantage of the fact that I had two of them so we could see what the before and afters look like on the process that I took. So we'll kind of move this one out of the way here. The number one was the knife takedown, which is pretty easy with an Elementum. It's hard to go wrong there. Only need a T6 and a T8. The T6s are for the pocket clip. Everything else was a T8 on here and came apart rather easily. And so then once you have it apart, just take the handle scales by themselves. And I started with sanding. So the sanding process that I used, I actually have an oscillating sander. It's got a little triangular head, about like yay, and had some 220 grit sandpaper for it. So took the 220 grit sandpaper on the oscillating sander and started with the flat part of the scales, and then went around the edges, made sure to get in and on all the edge surfaces, making sure not to gouge or leave anything in one place for too long. And that really helped knock down all the most dramatic portions of this. It left a very pronounced scratch pattern, as you can imagine, with 220 grit, but it really helped accelerate the process on getting rid of this patina. I think, if you don't have an oscillating sander and you're just looking to do this to your Elementum, or any brass for that matter, it's not a necessity. For sure, I think you could do it by hand. It would just going to take you a little bit longer with some elbow grease to get that thickest portion of the patina off of there. And so once I had that knocked off, I ensured we were down to base metal everywhere, and there wasn't any more locations that had the more dramatic patinaing on them. And then I moved on to kind of like you would sharpen a knife, really, just refining that scratch pattern further and further. And so what I used was actually this package here. This was just something that I got off of Amazon. Had a number of grits of sandpaper in my home tools already, but went ahead and ordered this because it went to 3,000 grit. So it, I think, was $6 or $7 on Amazon. It was not bad at all. And in this pack, it went from, I believe, 100 grit, up through everything, 220, 300, 400, 500, 600, 800, 1,000, 1,500, 3,000. So it was everything you needed in one package. So I would highly recommend this, and it worked really well. Like I said, very low cost. And I can open it up here and show you guys quickly what comes with. About 2 strips of each grit, which is way more than you'll actually need for just one knife handle. But this is exactly what I did. I cut strips off here, about that large, obviously. And then this is, make sure to get the wet sandpaper and keep your work material wet the whole time. So I would soak the sandpaper, keep the knife handles wet, and start in the lowest grit. Again, started with 220 on the oscillating sander, went to 220 by hand first, did it. Again, refine the scratch pattern. Circles at first, just like you're sharpening a knife, and then same direction all the way across, so you get the same scratch pattern on everything, and then gradually progress up in grit, just like you sharpen a knife. I went through every one that was in here, in this package here, and made sure to do both scales the same amount, keep it even, all the way up till 3,000. Same idea. Circle patterns at first, soak it in water, then refine your scratch pattern in the same direction. And once I had that all cleaned out. It was really looking good. Had some very good shine to it, very refined scratch pattern at that point. And then kind of took a detour, honestly, at that point. And I have a polishing pad for my Dremel. And so I got the polishing pad out for the Dremel and started with Barkeeper's Friend and put some Barkeeper's Friend on it and used a Dremel with that polishing pad on it, and did not like the results I got with that. So do not recommend that, at least based off of my experience. The Barkeeper's Friend really made it cloudy looking. I don't know why. And the polishing pad I had for my Dremel was a very small polishing head, and so it was very difficult to get a smooth, consistent finish all the way across the knife scales. It was really kind of cloudy looking, and you could see where I had gone with the Dremel, even trying to keep even pressure and go all the way across. It was leaving lines and streaks in there that I wasn't too happy with. So back to Amazon, got the Brasso, which was very pleased with. Used it then to clean up my former mess there from the Barkeeper's Friend. Put the Brasso on there. I started by hand, just rubbing it in and polishing with the Brasso by hand. Then went the route of using my same oscillating sander. I took the sanding pad that still had the 220 grit sandpaper on it, and I wrapped it in a soft cloth. And then put the Brasso on here, and because of the size of that oscillating sander head with that soft cloth on it now, not going back to sandpaper, was able to get a much more consistent pattern and used it across. And that Brasso, in addition to ammonia and some of the cleaning agents it has, it's kind of a mild abrasive. So it worked really well in polishing those scales with the oscillating sander, again with a soft cloth on it. Once I was done with that, went back by hand then, just with a soft cloth by hand, and probably 3 more times applied and scrubbed in circular motions with the Brasso, and then buffed it all out. And finally went to the reassembly and oiled it all up, put it back together. And this one here is, as I mentioned in my last video, I'm very happy with the action. Have this one pretty dialed in. Blade centering from this one is much better than the black blade version. Reference my past video for my feedback on that direct comparison. But overall, real happy with how the scale polishing turned out. Do like it significantly better than what the stock knife scales come in. This forced patina on here. So plan now is it's currently kind of mirrored with the polishing work that I did to it. I'm going to hopefully give it some pocket time, let it naturally patina, and a few other brass EDC items, most notably my machine era classic pen in brass that has started to patina very nicely, and I do like the way that it's taken on some color. And so hopefully this brass will do the same, and if it doesn't, I'll hit it with the hit it with the Brasso, not the Barkeeper's Friend, hit it with the Brasso again to get back to the shine, because I do like the way this looks too. So hope you guys found this informative and helpful if you're looking to polish any brass, but specifically if you're looking to polish a brass of your new Civivi Elementum. So thanks guys. Please leave some comments below if you are looking to polish, if you've done the same thing, what results you got. Enjoy engaging with you guys. So until next time, have a good one.